Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new accounting episode. Today, we're going to talk about a very interesting topic. We're going to talk about dividends. So, lots of businesses, as you hear in radio, sometimes they say they will have a dividends distribution, and they're going to announce this in radio or newspaper or any other media, and therefore people are willing, or the shareholders are going to be ready to receive money from that business. So what is dividends to start with? A dividends is kind of the profit or retained earning company hold. They have the right to whether distribute this earning or not. So who's eligible to have those retained retained earning will be the shareholders. Those are the ones that are eligible to receive the shareholders. So basically, any stock will have something called a face rate or face value or par value. This is the money basically a shareholder will pay in order to get that share, most likely 1,000 or multiplication of 1,000. So let's say $1,000 share or stock, and it carries, this is going to be the face value, $1,000, and his share of that 1,000 is only 2.5%, 2.5%. So basically, he's going to get $250 as dividends. This is just a very simple way to explain what is face value, face rate, or par value, and what is yield, or the percentage that uh, the shareholder is going to receive his interest. There are two different ways of stocks. So we got something called preferred stock, and we have also something called uh, common stock. So preferred stocks and common stocks are exactly not the same. Preferred stocks holders have the privilege to get their dividends before common stock shareholders. Also, in case of liquidation, a business that is going to go out or going to close up, or a firm that's going to go out of business, the preferred shareholders will have the right or the privilege to get their debts paid first before any other creditors, including common stock. Some important dates that we need to know before we getting into the calculation. So those dates are announcement dates. So the announcement date is basically not the day that you shareholders are going to receive their money. That's not the date. It's the day that the management decides to or announce to distribute that retained earning, the retained earning that will be distributed to their shareholders. Ex-dividend date is the date that on that day or passing that day or after, you are not eligible to get any dividends. So you probably need to buy this before the X date, before that. So prior to this, you're eligible to have your profit or your yield or your dividends if you're a shareholder. Passing that day, or even on that day, if you're buying that stock on that day, you're not eligible to have any dividends. Record date is 2 days prior to distributing the money. And it's also a cut-off date. So they're going to record who's eligible, who's not on that day. However, got nothing to do with receiving or not at that moment your dividends. That recording date is just a kind of, you can call it like listing date. They're gonna list who's eligible, who's not. However, passing that day or even in that X day dividend date, you are not eligible anyways. So this is record date is 2 days prior to distributing the money or the payment date. payment date. It's the day that announced to not to give out, but to basically to pay this much. So it's the payout day that's called payment date. So the payment date is the day that the firm or the business are gonna pay out their dividends. On the other hand, it's the same, it's the day that the shareholders are going to get their dividends. So let's take an example here, make it an easy. There is a company called EasyCan. EasyCan is a company that was established in 2019. So far, there is no dividends. On that year, they made some profit and they decide to issue 6,000 shares of preferred stock was par value of $40. So watch here, I'm gonna issue two different kind of shares. 6,000, that's preferred, and we just said a preferred stock is has the privilege, as the holder, I mean, has the privilege to get paid before those common stock. You notice the number is very high and the price is very low, just $3 to buy common stock, because you don't know whether you're going to get dividends or not. It depends on the business. However, those 6,000 stocks are got the privilege to receive their money or their dividends or the business dividends before the common stock ones. So here's the list. A business decide in 4 years to distribute some dividends. The first year, they decide to distribute 8,000 to those guys. Notice here, those two guys, to the common and to preferred. So preferred will receive their money first before the common. 8,000, 30,000 on 2020, 2021, 20,000, 2022, 50,000. Details of the shares. We have preferred dividends, that is 5%, and they are non-cumulative. They are non-cumulative. While the other dividends got 4% cumulative. So non-cumulative and cumulative, let's know the difference between them. So within the preferred stock, you got 5% are non-cumulative and 4% cumulative. So what is non-cumulative? What is cumulative? Basically, non-cumulative means, let's say the 8,000 here, you are eligible to have, say, 10,000. We're going to work out some numbers, but however, if you're eligible to receive 12,000, let's say, but the business decide only for 8,000 that year. However, you are eligible to get 12, but unfortunately, there are only 8,000 to be distributed. That means if you carry non-cumulative, your 4,000, 8,000 and 4,000 equals 12. Your 4,000 will not be paid on that time, and neither for the next year. You're not going to carry out this for the next year because this is non-cumulative. However, if it was cumulative, then you're going to get 8,000 and carry out 4,000 for the next year when they distribute this for 30,000. However, might be a bit complicated this way. I think seeing numbers is going to make it much easier. So let's see this table here. A 5% non-cumulative for the 6,000. 6,000 shares. This is number of shares. 6,000 here. 6,000. Their face value or par value is $40. So 6,000 times $40. Now we're gonna work with preferred, the annual preferred dividends based on 5%. Why? This is given information, 5% non-cumulative. So 5% of that number is 12,000. 6,000 times 40 equals 200, 200 and, I'm sorry, 24,000. Sorry, 240,000 times 5% equals 12,000. So you are being a preferred stockholder and 5% non-cumulative, you're eligible to get 12,000. So this year, when the business announced, you're waiting to get your money, you calculate your number, you're going to crunch your number and say, oh, hey, thank God, I'm getting 12,000 this year. I mean, the whole stockholders are going to get 12,000. Fortunately, the business decided in 2019 to distribute only 8,000. You are short for 4,000. So why business do this? Well, it's their decision. This is not a liability. The return earning, because as you know, we said the dividends is going to be distributed from the return earning. A return earning is not a liability. It's a choice. So whether business decide or not, whether or not is going to distribute this money. So they are not obligated to distribute 12,000 in this year. They just decide 8. They may decide none. However, they decide 8,000. We are the preferred, the annual preferred dividends expected to get 12,000. However, business decide to distribute 8 only. So you're gonna get 8. Preferred getting 8. Common, good luck. Nothing. Actually, the preferred need 4,000 more, but good luck. There is nothing left. So as we said before, the preferred stockholder are eligible to get their dividends first before common. So too bad, nothing left for common. 8,000 all gone to preferred stockholder. Okay, now let's see what happens next. In year 2020, what happens? Let's see how much we're eligible to have. We're still eligible to have the same 12,000. However, there is 30,000 here to be distributed. Who's going to get their money first? Right. The preferred stockholder are going to get their money first here. 2020, they're going to get the 12,000 that we just calculated before. And the rest goes to the common. Why? Because preferred got the privilege first. First, they get their 12, then the rest goes common. Here, they should get 12. Unfortunately, only 8,000 we're giving away. Too bad for common stockholder. Nothing left for them. Now watch this. This is 12,000. They were short 4,000 last year. Since this is non-cumulative, again, too bad for them. They're not going to carry out the 4 plus the 12. No, it's non-cumulative, my friend. You agreed to have a non-cumulative stock. So too bad. You only get 12,000 this year, and the last year, good luck. Sorry, there's not enough. There was not enough. Okay, now let's see the next year, 2021, what happens. In 2021, business decide to go with 20,000. 20,000 for 2021. So who's gonna get their money first? The preferred stockholder get their 12,000 as we calculated before, and the rest of the 20,000 will go to the common stockholder, and that will be it. I think this is fair, not too fair, because that's the privilege. Actually, you agreed to do this. You agreed to get your common, and it's non-cumulative. So you have to wait until the preferred ones or stockholder get their money first, wait for the rest. If things left, then it's yours. If nothing, like this case, then it's nothing. Now let's see the last year. The last year here is going to be 50,000. 50,000. Who's going to get their preferred? Who's going to get the money first? Preferred stockholder will get their money first. So before we see the number, here are that 50. And what number should goes here? Exactly 12. And here going to be 38. Excellent. So 12, that's what we should get. The rest goes to common stockholder. Sorry. The rest goes to common stockholder. So total of 50. Where did I get those numbers? 8, 30, 20, 50. Those are given. This is what the business or the firm decide to do. 2019, year 2020, year 2021, and year 2022. Now, the last part that I need to do here is how you're going to record this. What is your data entry in your books? You can think about it. I'm going to continue this for the next video. However, I'll give you a hint. We said retained earning is where you're going to pay your dividends. So for return earning, you're gonna assign some money. So let's say this year here, on that year, you're gonna assign 8,000. When are you gonna go? You're gonna assign this money, not on the payday. Definitely not. You're gonna have this assigned on the announcement day. So, and that day, 2019, whenever they announce to distribute this money, then you're gonna do your entry. The entry will be you're gonna debit the return earning, and we're gonna credit those dividends payable. Why? Because return earning is not return earnings are not or is not a liability. Those are equity. Business owner profit or earning does not belong to the business. It belongs to the owners. So they are not assets. They are neither liabilities. They are equities. So we're going to debit those equity to payable. So whoever the payable are. So debit will be a debit side will be return earning. In this case, 8,000. Return earning 8,000, and that would be equity. And we're going to credit the payable. So dividends payable 8,000 on the credit side. On the payment date, the payment date is the day when those stockholders are receiving or going to receive their money, and that would, and that would be the entry would be in this case will be dividends payable on the debit side, 8,000 dividends payable on the debit side, and 8,000 on the cash side, because this is paid on cash. However, not necessarily that business will pay in cash. They could issue different stocks. However, it's relevant for now. So let's say the entry for the last time. Next time, we're going to discuss it with more details. The entry and your books will be that way. You're going to debit your return earning, and you're going to credit your dividends payable. And when it comes, that's an announcement day. On the payday, you're going to debit dividends payable and credit cash. Well, I hope that will be it for today. And next video, we're going to talk about the data entry, and we're going to work with the cumulative preferred ones. Wish you all the best, and I hope this is going to be helpful for you guys. Thank you so much for spending time, and wish you all the best. See you soon. Thanks.